Hey guys, welcome to DevOpsSchool. Today we are going to learn about SonarQube. SonarQube is an open source platform for continuous inspection of code quality. It's a tool to measure and analyze the quality of source code. It is developed with a main objective in mind: make code quality management accessible to everyone with minimal efforts. Anything that affects code base from minor styling details to critical design errors is inspected and evaluated by SonarQube, which helps software application developers to identify the issue and its effect. But before we begin, let me inform you a few things about us. DevOps School is one of the leading platforms which offers DevOps, cloud and containers technology training and certification programs for freshers and established professionals who wish to update and consolidate their skills in the dynamic IT scenario. We ensure that the training solutions are delivered by highly experienced domain experts with practical working experience in various verticals. You can join our all training programs globally through online platforms, and if you're looking for classroom workshop, then we have regular batches available in Hyderabad and Bangalore. Check out the dates and enroll with us for our upcoming batches. For more info, link and contact details are mentioned in the description below.
So before starting the session, I just want to give a small introduction and want to know about you guys. I need three things: your name, your designation. It could be as a student, or working, a project manager, developer, a DevOps guy, anything. And do you have any experience with the tools before? What experience? Just like a tool name, like a Git or a Jenkins or something. Because why I asked all these questions is that will make me to understand where I can start and at what level I can be give you my best level of teaching and all the experience. Okay, so first let me start with mine. So I'm Narendra and I have a 7+ years of an experience into the DevOps, and I have given almost 50+ students of teaching in DevOps tools for real-time practical things. So I'm going to instruct for SonarQube today's session. Okay, and now your turns, guys. Just give your name and do your current role. Designation of working or not working, learning something, and the tools. Okay, come on, guys.
Yeah, I'll start from myself. Sorry, my name is Mian Rashid. I live in Manchester and I work for AiOps at the moment. Been in telecommunications for the last 15 years or so, and now I felt that this is a time to come to DevOps. So I'm learning all the technologies and tools related to DevOps, and I have on SonarQube. No, I'm practical, just for learning purposes.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Margaret. I'm PM and I know Jira, Jenkins, and Git. Jira very well, Jenkins and Git just 10-20% knowledge.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. And if you're not able to just provide me a chat, that would be fine. Okay, I didn't get received. Okay, but fine. Okay, let's get started. So here what we are going to do is all about is a SonarQube in 3 sessions. We have 3 hours of time, or it would be more than 3 hours with a small breaks, like 5 minutes of a breaks. And today's session has been divided into 3 sections. One is the introduction part of it and why the SonarQube has been, and the installation of the SonarQube, introduction, and what are the things that we have done before before SonarQube coming into the picture, and analyzing some projects into the SonarQube dashboard and a couple of components of a SonarQube dashboard. In a second session, we are going to the internal parts of a project in a SonarQube. Every project have some issues, measures, some plugin libraries, and a branch analysis. And the third session that we will be discussing about is it's kind of more into some more advanced level, the basics of the advanced level, how it has been, how other systems has been interacting with this SonarQube in terms of web application API interfaces, or else so dashboards, or how the things, and how if we want to be create our own rule or quality profiles in SonarQube, and a few more internal discussions of that. And the last one is the upgradation. I mean, if we want to upgrade a particular version of the SonarQube to another major version, so what is the procedure? These are the things that we are going to discuss it, and with a small breaks. Okay, let's get started into the start. Okay, I hope you guys can see my presentation. Okay, so mostly so for today's session, what I'm going to use is a small presentation of a PPT and a small Google Doc drive, which is having my personal notes and one of our local box. I mean to say, I use a virtual box for a practical purpose to show you the everything what we are going to do it. Okay, so let's try to understand the scenarios without SonarQube. Okay, and what exactly and why we need the SonarQube, or else why we need the quality. I mean, basically, why it's all about the quality. Let's say if you are buying any product, that product has done a lot of testing under scenarios and then coming into our hands, right? In the similar manner, what we will be getting is we need to have a quality code when you are developing any project. Let's say if you are the project manager, or else you are the CEO, or else you are writing you are developing a software, you are writing the code, you are an administrator, you are a DevOps person, you have some responsibility in some manner. So in order to make the quality of a software to deliver to the customer, if we don't want, I mean, if you don't have a quality software, you will be you can't able to survive either in job or delivering the products or in something else. That's where we need a quality of the software. So for that, we have a couple of things or points that we need to measure the quality of the software. Okay, so so what we need to do a quality of the software means why. So when you are developing a code, what a developer has to do is he has to run a lot of phases. Let's say, let me show you this. I have one JavaScript project here, and this is my project structure, and we have implemented a couple of APIs, and we want to make sure the quality of this whatever I have done it. So for that, what I have to be done is I have to run a lot of testing. I mean, let's say these are all the APIs. I have to write the unit test cases, integration test cases, and a lot of test cases for this. I have to write a code coverage for this API, this one API alone, and I have to run a couple of plugins in order to make sure to check whether any bugs are there, any vulnerabilities are exposed, any cross-site scripting has been exposed, all SQL injections has been. Is there any way to make sure exploit my code? I have to check each and everything, and then make sure I have to be delivered to my team lead, and he will be delivered to the project manager, and project manager will be delivering to the customer. Okay, so for that, what I have to do is I have to depend on a couple of plugins. Let's say I want to check now the check style, I mean the code style. There is for that I want to install some couple of plugins. Let's say check style. See this, I have to install this plugin and then apply this plugin to my code. So what it have been done is, when you apply this code, I mean this plugin to your code, it will apply some rules and then check whether the code is being quality or not. Because what that plugin has is, it has some standards of internal. I mean, if someone has been defined some standards, those standard rules will be applied on your code, and your code will know that are you following the standards or not. Then only you will be understand the quality of the code. So for this, what I'm doing is I want to install a plugin. and then check the plugin, apply the plugin, and then know the result. And I have to understand the result and then do the necessary modifications. Let me put it this way. So, okay, online whiteboard. And here I have a code, and then I have to install some plugins, apply the plugin on a code, get the result, and then understand the result, fix the problems if it is, if there are any bugs or if there are any issues. Okay, this is what I have to do. Okay, now this is been respect to a check style. Okay, right? And this is one way of checking your code or the quality of your project. And I have to check bugs. I have to check vulnerabilities, and I have to check standards. I have to check any leaks of memory. I have to check any connections has been opened for vulnerabilities or exploit your system or your software. So I have to check each and everything. So for this, what I have to do is I have to find each and every plugin and then apply on my code and then get the result on independently and fix them. So this is what I have to do as a developer while developing the software. So this is kind of a very very common task or very mundane task and very time consuming task. What if you have something which do for all these, what if you have something which things of all these things done by another system? Okay, so that is nothing but a SonarQube has been coming into the picture. We will talk about that. Guys, are you understanding? Please let me know if you stuck anywhere, or else if I'm not clear, I'll just make you to understand very clear. Okay, please let me know. And so this slide is all talking about whatever I have discussed. In order to make a quality code, we have to install the plugins. We have to track each and every. We have to cover different kinds of errors. It could be logical errors, memory leaks errors, connection errors, or else code styles, syntax errors. We have to do everything as independently. And we have to install all the plugins. We have to find it out and then install in our editors. Let's say I have showed you for the visual, Node.js or some JavaScript project, and similar manner for other languages. Like let's say we have a Spring Boot applications. We have to do the same thing for every technology or every language. The same process. Okay, but only the thing is the plugins names will be different. That is only the difference, but the procedure is the same. And we have to for that we have to give almost 1/4 time of your, let's say you have taken 1 day to develop one application. You have to give almost 6 to 7 hours for your making sure the quality of this in terms of applying all this stuff. Okay, so this is what that's how we can make sure the quality, and that is like a manual process. I have to install it everything as separately and get the report independently and make sure I have to fix those stuff, and then I have to make it in a file and then keep it as a track of it. So what if we have let's say while developing the software software, we have a lot of phases. Let's say you have created a one feature now or developed a feature now. So that has to be implemented first, and then that has to be implemented. Then it has to be tested. Bugs will be coming. I mean, mostly won't come, but if most of the we have to test it and then fix it, and then do the same thing, apply the plugins, run the test cases, and then we might miss some now this time is we might miss some check styles or some other. I mean, this is a continuous process, and each and every time that you change the code, you have to apply the same process. So if something has been wrong, again it will come to the same stage that we have to apply the plugins and then find out any bugs or something else. So this is a very similar process like what we have done it for previously. So by the end of all these phases, we'll be having a lot of result files that could be in a .csv format or JSON. I mean, the result will be very huge, and we will be stored it in some file format. And later on some point of time, if your project manager or if your customer or if your client has been asked, okay, can you give me the report? How did you manage your life cycle of this software application? How did you manage the issues fixing? And what is the quality of the product? Then you can immediately show all these, all the result. But it is somewhat, you can't provide you all the things in a CSV format. But what if you provide that in which a graphical user interface provide, right? So that the customer or the client or PM will be very happy to understand very easily. Okay. Now, so
Narendra,
yeah. Yes,
this is
Nasimha.
here. So I have a quick question, but you can explain me that whenever it is applicable. So whenever we say test cases, right? When we write some code, I heard that we write some unit test cases as well as some organization write mutation also, right?
Yeah.
So when you explaining me before, you listed running a test cases. So those are like regression test cases. You're talking about unit or mutation test cases.
So it has everything, Nasimha. So it can have integration or regression. It has automation test cases or unit test cases. So it has everything. When we are, let's say your project, your project have all kind of scenarios. You have developed your controllers, models, views, REST APIs, and every API you have a unit test cases, integration test cases, stress test cases, or else automation test cases, regression test cases, anything. You just throw your project into the SonarQube, or else you have to make sure your software has some quality so that you can write anything.
You mean software as a quality means your code has a quality code, and then you runs into SonarQube, you will get the outcome, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you do that, so some organization not recommending writing mutation test cases, right? So, but some organization want to go with that approach, right? So,
yes.
What was the reason behind that? Will you able to explain me on that part? Is it a right time to explain that, or we can take that later whenever it is time?
Yeah, we can. I can just give you one or two lines of answer. Then, if we have more on that, we can discuss about that. Okay. So it's completely organization or the requirement standard point of view. The question: some organization want a test cases because they don't have a time to deliver the product, or they want immediate application. Let's say you have an idea, and you have some product idea, and you want application in like 1 or 2 days. It's just like he will understand the he will explain the requirement. Like, I have a one login page, it has to show the list. Once I logged in, I have to be a login page, and then once I logged in, I have to get the list of all the products. This is a small requirement, and you will tell that I'll definitely provide you the software, but I need 2 days. No, I want only 1 day because this is very small. Okay, I'll provide you, but I can't make sure within a small span of time I can't provide you the quality. That's then he will understand, okay, fine, I need just simple one small page, a single page application where I can log in and then see the list of the view. It's a completely the requirement of organization that we can provide a test cases or not provide the test cases. Is it clear? I mean, we can discuss more on that.
Yeah, so but now my whole point, when you say like SonarQube increase the code quality when we run this, when we have this in any organization, but when it comes to a lot of people just go with the unit test cases and they don't have a SonarQube in their organization, but some people go with the unit test cases as well as mutation test cases, and they they don't have a SonarQube. So in that scenario, having mutation test cases doesn't require the SonarQube, or having all these will increase the quality of the product.
Okay, so here what the the scope of SonarQube here is that whatever you written, let's say you have implemented your application and then you have given only unit test cases, and it will give you the whatever you have given, it will give you the quality of that your software application only. I mean to say, it will check the code or the application that you have written for implementing the APIs or the front end or back end or services, and then check for the unit test cases only. Okay, in another project you have provided a regression test cases along with the unit test cases and integration test cases. It will understand your project and then check whatever you have written until your regression test cases, unit, and some other test cases. It will check that point only. It won't, let's say you have given your project with unit test cases, it won't, the SonarQube won't provide you other test cases along with your unit test cases. You have, let's say you have given 10 modules, 10 modules with one test cases, and this will give you the result of how your entire project has followed your standard. Is there any vulnerability? Is there any bug fixes? Is there any code smells? It won't give you 10 plus 1 unit test cases. I mean, it won't give you 2 unit test cases. It will just give you, if you give 100 test cases, it will understand your, it will analyze your 100 test cases or your code and then give you result. Among 100 test cases, is there any issue? Are you following properly standard or not? Is there any vulnerability? Is there any bugs? Are you following any code styles? Is it very designerly? I mean, is the architecture of your software is being approved or not? Are you following the standards or not? These kind of answers will be given to you from the SonarQube once you thrown to the project. I mean, once you thrown the project to the SonarQube.
Okay.
So Narendra, to that extent, even Jenkins does that job, right? It throws out all the defects, and Jenkins also does that, right? But so what's the difference?
It's not that much extensively. We will show, I mean, we will get to know once we done a small demo project here.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
We will show, definitely. We'll please bring this question or somewhere once you find this is the place of that. Okay. Now thank you. So now let's continue with our. So now we understand the quality, right? Let's try to understand in this manner. So the quality will be measured in 2 ways. One is internal and an external. What the internal means, it's completely into the technical part. Of course, everything is a technical. The internal means when you are developing a software, this is all about the developer now. I mean, when a developer has been developing any application, he has to follow a couple of coding standards, best practices while implementing that. You know, right? there is a lot of rules and regulations. I mean, every company or every organization has its own responsible. I mean, its own standards while implementing that. And you know, so these are the necessary tools that they should use while implementing their project. These are the couple of plugin names. These are that. UC detector, check styles, find bugs, Emma. These are all the plugins, whatever we discussed, right? Check style will understand your coding style, whether are you following a proper format or not. Did you given any spaces in between two methods? Any method has been properly utilized or not? UC detector. Undeclared variables. I mean, you have declared a lot of variables, but you never used it. And find bugs. Are you exposing any? I mean, your code is exposing any external data to the outer world. So these kind of things you will be finding from these plugins. And when you come to the external quality, so what would have been used is, it's all about the functional requirements and specifications. A couple of guys will be using issue tracking systems like Jira. If you have, I mean, definitely every project will have some kind of an issues. Those issues will be maintained by some kind of issue tracker management system or Jira, some HPALM tool, which is all about the application lifecycle management. You will be define your regression test inside HPALM tool, and what is the status of those tools. We can configure automatically. I mean, we can configure tools such a way that it should automatically trigger. And a couple of these are all the external tools that you can even show to the client if needed. But it's all about managing your software life cycle by using these tools. Okay, and when it comes to the, now let's go one more step below, like testing. When you say testing, there are different, I mean, it's basically two types, but inside the two types we have a different kinds of things. One is a dynamic testing and another one is a static testing. Okay, now this, why we are all talking about this, in order to make sure the quality of the product and how the SonarQube has been coming to the picture. If you see, there are two types of things, like a dynamic testing and static testing. What exactly the dynamic testing? Dynamic testing means you run the code and then do testing. Let's say all testers will do that. They will execute the project. Execute in the sense they will run the project and they will do the manual testing. They will do the unit testing or regression testing or automation testing. In order to make sure all the testing has to be done, you have to execute your code or a project and then apply your testing strategies on that project. This is called a dynamic testing. And there are a couple of tools to implement or to help us to do that dynamic testing. Those are Selenium, which is a Java testing tool, which we can use for the automation. Casper.js for mostly into the JavaScript libraries project. Sahi, which is again automation testing tool, which can help us to do automation testing. Okay, and now let's come to the static testing. We can test the code without executing or without running the project. Meaning, let me understand. So here, if you see here, the developer, and he will implement the code. Developer, he will implement the code, and then he will run the project, and then he will do the testing. It could be like a unit or a regression or integration or anything. And then in similar manner, he will implement the code, and you won't run, you will directly do the testing by using couple of what kind of a testing? That testing is called static testing. I mean, what you will find out from that is, it's all about are you following a standard or not? In order to make sure your code has been following a couple of standards, so it's been any error, are you following the syntax guidelines or not, are you following organization rules or not. You don't need to run the entire your project, you just need to apply a couple of tools on that. It will just understand your code and then give you the better the result of how you are following that. For that, we are using couple of tools or plugins or softwares. Those are SonarQube, which we are going to discuss about that, Apache AiOps, Codex, CodeSense. So these are the tools that we will be using the static testing. So any questions, please?
Narendra, help me understand. So when you say static, right? So without like building that code into any dev or staging environment, we will be adding that code. We will be like putting that code into SonarQube. We'll run some like a static test that will tell us the code quality, and that is called static testing. That's what you mean?
Yes, I mean no. Now let me tell you. So for the dynamic testing, what you have to do is your application has some dependencies. Like it required a DB connection, DB should be up. It required some other third party has to be accessed and internet required. So this for dynamic testing, we need all these dependencies. For static testing, you don't need any other dependencies. You don't need to have your database to be up if your application is configured to connect to the database, or if your application has to be connected to the AWS service or GCP or some other third-party services. You don't need those connections to be available for your application when you are doing the dynamic testing, because you just give your code as a files, and then it will understand your files or your code and give you the result.
Okay.
Did you got it?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Any questions, guys? If we have any questions, we can ask. We can move on also if we want. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can stop me. We can continue on that. Okay. Okay, guys. So now let's try to guys. One more last question. So you guys understand what we have to be done without SonarQube, and what is the a procedure that we have followed without SonarQube, and what we are trying to do with the SonarQube or something. I mean to say without SonarQube.
I mean, like what my understanding was, without SonarQube, code quality will be less, but still we can do things around it, but quality will be less. With SonarQube, we can increase the code quality that will help us to build the business.
Yes, absolutely. And even you, you have an opportunity to understand the quality without SonarQube, but it will be very, it's not easy. But if we have a SonarQube into the picture, it will be very easy. You will understand. Why I told you is you have to track each and every tool result, and then you have to give it in a CSV format, which is not like very easy to understand. But if you have a SonarQube, you will be getting understand very easily. Okay. Now let's start. Now let's try to understand. Guys, any more questions before going into now?
I have a question. The question is, when you talk about code review policies, that's understandable, and those policies would definitely be integrated within SonarQube. Now, can we custom make the policies for code review?
So your question is, can we create a custom own policy and then apply in our code and get the result? Is that your question?
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, we can create our own coding rules that we'll call it as quality profiles in SonarQube language. So we can create our own custom quality profiles. Quality profile is nothing, a rule. What is a rule? Let's say you have a rule. No, I'm working in one MNC company. I've defined my own standard. So each and every line of code, I should mention, I mean, each and every method, I should have one comment about that, what it is. This is your rule. So you have to implement that rule, and you add this rule to quality profile, and you apply this quality profile to your project. This is how the procedure in SonarQube. You definitely can able to create a custom rules and our quality profiles. We'll understand, we'll see that.
Thank you.
Is that clear? Sorry, am I clear on that?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Okay, now let's try to understand what exactly the SonarQube. SonarQube is a web-based tool for measuring the quality of the code, and it is also a management tool for analyzing the code. It's a web application. It's not like a standalone or some other application, or it's just a simple web application that you will be running in your mission, locally or remote mission or anything. For that, you have to follow some procedure in order to run the SonarQube. And what is that? So it is a management tool for analyzing your code. You can run multiple projects, and you can analyze those projects results by applying a couple of rules or quality profiles on your project. So it will help you to understand the better quality of your code for multiple projects by running a couple of rules on your code. By doing that, what would be you will be getting is, you will be definitely making sure no errors, high quality, and no logical errors, no bugs, no vulnerabilities exposed. So you will make sure that you will follow all the industry standard code level. Why we have to apply all this is, let's say if you are working in a banking project, definitely they will ask you all these things, because if you developed a code which is having some bugs of a vulnerability or exposing to the outer world, then definitely your project is going to be thrown away, and you have to repay back. I mean, there are some agreements, like if you are not make sure the quality of the software, you have to repay them. So so like that, there is a, that's where, and even if you are working in some government sector, they will make sure like the quality, or especially nowadays security is becoming very tight, or a very big concern about their project. So nowadays that's where most of the guys even following security standards and applying, checking their bugs. And even this SonarQube also will help them to understand how vulnerable of their application of them. And now this has been primarily designed for Java, and initially they have developed SonarQube only for Java applications. Now that has been implemented for other languages also. Almost 20 plus languages they have implemented the SonarQube thing. And each language have some coding rules. What the rules are means, a rules is a constraint. A constraint is nothing but you define your constraint and implementing that constraint in a Java language and apply that that constraint into your project. This is how it will be happening that. Okay. And so so what exactly that we can do is, we will install the SonarQube in our mission, and then try to create some new projects and get some sample Java project or Node.js project, and then throw to SonarQube dashboard, and then try to analyze it, what's it's happening. Okay, then okay, let me get started of doing that first, and then we will continue on this. Okay, for this what I'm doing is, I have my own mission. I mean, I am having a laptop. Inside my laptop, I have installed a VirtualBox. Inside a VirtualBox, I have installed a one Linux system that is Ubuntu 18.04, which is a LTS, and people will be using CentOS or else RHGL, some other Linux systems. So for this today, we are going to use Ubuntu. All Ubuntu, CentOS, RHGL, Kubuntu, Kali, all these are the flavors of a Linux, but the base is a Linux only. Okay, now for this, I hope you guys can see my screen. I opened a virtual box and then created a one virtual box with the Linux of Ubuntu 18.04. Are you guys able to see that? I opened a terminal, my virtual box, and then trying to access this. Guys, are you able to see? Can you guys give a small
Yes, yes.
response? Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is, as I told you, I have created a Ubuntu here, and then from outer world, I'm trying to I'll be logging through SSH to this remote mission using SSH tools, and then use that system for installing and everything. So for me, for everything, I have to go to this UI and then install everything. It will be somewhat a time-taking process. That's why I won't be using the GUI for this. I'll be logging into the remote mission using SSH tools. So in real time, what would be happening is, so this mission could be in a cloud. It could be on premises. It could be bare metal or anything. On cloud means you are now the scenario is, now once you join a job or if you are there, or they might ask you to install a Sonar or configure a Sonar setup into the mission. That mission could be inside a cloud mission or a AWS or some other cloud provider, or it could be on premises. They will give you some system to you and then want to install the SonarQube into that system, or else a bare metals. They have a huge or fatter missions. You want to configure SonarQube into that. Only whatever it is, you can able to log into the mission through GUI or CUI, anything. You can use a PuTTY or else you can use a PuTTY or else SSH command line tool, or else some other remote login tools. Anything you can use. For now, we are going to use a SSH now, because whatever either PuTTY or remote other tools will be using SSH only. For that, we have to make sure SSH server should be installed into this mission. Okay, for that, what I'm going to do is, first I'll make sure I have a internet connection to be enabled. It has to be, for that I'm going to change the bridge adapter, and then restart my network settings here. And then I'm on it here. Yeah, now I have that. What I have done is, in order to make sure I should have an internet access, I have connected my local mission and this is called a host mission, and this is called a guest mission. Okay, in order to have a communication between these two systems or internet able to communicate, I have changed the network connection into the bridge node. Then only these two able to communicate it. Okay, now let me find out the IP address over here. Okay, for this I have to, or else what I can do is I can find out here, get the details. 19.168.1.7 here. Okay, and now I'm going to install, that is my IP address, install OpenSSH server, and this is open. Okay, done. In real time, when you work, why I have installed this SSH server tool is, this is a desktop version. And when you are working, most of the missions you will be having a server editions. Okay, in server editions you don't need to install any SSH servers. Okay, so that's why because it does not have any much GUI modules, it has all CUI modules. By default, all server editions of Ubuntu or RHEL or CentOS, you will be having SSH tool has been installed by default. Okay, since it has been a desktop version, I have installed. If you, even if you found if your server does not have a OpenSSH server has been installed, you have to install this way. Okay, now let me see, who am I? I logged in as a Narendra. Okay, now let me try to log in from the external world. Okay, so 19.168. This is how you will be logged into your remote machine using SSH command. SSH space the username that you want to log in at the rate of IP address. So it is asking me, there is some permission issue, that's why I have used sudo. Okay, and password is this. Yes, who am I? And IP config, so I have to install in order to execute this command. Okay, now I've logged into the remote mission. Okay, now I'll close this GUI, and then now let's I could able to log into the remote mission. Okay, guys, is this clear or is it getting confused? Guys, can someone give me answer?
I'm not sure I'm really able to follow you. If you give me a recap, that would be great.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So what I've done is, as I told you in this this diagram, I'm trying to, my aim is, I want to install a SonarQube into one mission. That mission is now I'm using into VirtualBox. In your scenario, when you are working, that mission is in AWS. That mission is in a bare metal. Bare metal means they have given you some instance and you want to install that. So you have to log into the mission remotely if your mission is a remote mission. So this is what I've done in simple manner. Okay, I have a VirtualBox installed, and inside a VirtualBox I'm creating a Ubuntu mission, and then I'm installing the SonarQube. Okay, for now I just logged into this remote mission using SSH tool. This is what I've done. This, I mean, this is a very normal procedure. If you want to log into any remote mission, you have to use the SSH command for that.
Yeah,
So
I got that.
Yeah, this is a simple. I mean, this is everyone we have to follow if you want to log into the remote mission. Some people will be using a putty. By installing the putty, you will provide IP address and username, and then do that. Okay. So now, any questions, guys?
Nope.
Okay, so now let's come to this. We will come to the couple of slides once we come into one particular point of time. We'll be discussing those stuff. Those are nothing but advantages of that, and access of the SonarQube. We will talk about that. Okay, now let's come to the installation part. When you have an installation part, basically you have different editions of a SonarQube. So those are community editions, developer editions, enterprise edition, data center edition. These are the editions that we need or that are available for the SonarQube installations. Okay, let me SonarQube. So there are different types of editions which I have told you, like community edition, developer edition, enterprise edition, data center edition. Each edition has its own. It's not like own. let's say community edition will give you most of the features. Developer edition will give you 2 more features than community edition. Enterprise version gives you 2 more features or 3 more features than developer edition and community edition with respect to the enterprise. If you found any issues, if you take the enterprise edition and if you found any issues, you will be having a support from the enterprise edition of the SonarQube, and it will be get fixed. And data center edition, if you are able to if you are operating a data center with a lot of tools, and if you are using a SonarQube, it has its own set of features and addition to that. So for that, you have to opt for data center edition. But most of the companies will be using a community or these. I mean, if it is a MNC company, they will be using enterprise editions. And most of the companies, either middle-sized company or startups, will be going for the developer or the community edition. Okay, so let me show you that.
The enterprise edition will be like expensive, or is that managed? Like, is it good to buy that?
No,
for
it's expensive only. Let me show you that.
About the developer one?
Sorry?
About the developer edition?
Yes, it has some affordable.
Okay. So when you say affordable, like if you have some incident, so if you raise that, how early we'll get the response back?
I mean, can you ask me again, please? I was in.
So if it is enterprise edition, you create a support ticket saying that we have a bug and we want to get this fixed within a 24 hours window. So if it is a developer edition, you have a limited support. What is the response time from the community which is supporting developer edition?
Okay, so in enterprise edition, what would happen is there are some level, high priority, very low priority levels. There are levels of or severity of the issues. So based on that, it will be there is a within the minimum time they can respond. It is within 2 hours. That will be in enterprise editions. They will be responding in 2 hours if you choose the enterprise edition. If it is a developer edition, they have that is like into technical details, and they have a 24 hours time frame in order to respond that. So that is how they will be responding.
So in that case, we definitely go with the developer edition, right? Most of the time.
Yes.
And what can you give me some bad examples? What kind of issues we run into when we have this setup?
Which setup? This entire or you are saying what if what are the advantages and disadvantages when you choose a developer and enterprise edition? It's kind of question.
No. So
Okay.
if I have a SonarQube in my organization and I choose like a developer edition or community edition, okay, then if I run into any issue which is like out of my knowledge, so what kind of scenarios, like give me some like a very rare example we run into issues like that and that blocks everyone not to make a progress on that day. So I want some kind of scenario like that. Based on that, I can decide what kind of edition I want to implement in my organization, like a developer edition or enterprise edition or community edition. So based on the criticality, I can choose which way I have to go through, right?
Yeah, it's a wonderful question. So thanks for asking that. And even this is also one of the interview questions, what are the issues that you faced while working with the SonarQube? So basically, what kind of issues that we will be encounter is, in first and foremost, is almost when you are upgrading some versions of a SonarQube, you will be facing main issue is your system is not able to respond. Let's say you have worked 5 to 6 projects with using a SonarQube in your project, and there is a new feature has been come into the higher version of your SonarQube. So now you want to upgrade that. While upgrading that, what you have to they have given you a lot of steps upgrading from version to version. what you have to, what are the steps that you have to follow, and you can't directly go to, let's say, from you are running a 5 version of a SonarQube and you want to upgrade to the Sonar 7. You can't go to directly the Sonar 7 from the 5. There is an in between. There are a lot of middle steps. This is the one issue that we faced initially. So we directly try to upgrade from the lower version to the very higher version. So we can't do that. That is the one issue. For that, we raised a one ticket, and immediately they have given me the technical procedure how you can approach. First, they will once you raise the ticket, what they would be doing is they will immediately call you and then or assist you in either phone or else mail or some web call. Immediately they will try to assist you and they will try to understand your problem, and then they will give you some technical procedure. If we are founding, I mean, if we can't able to do that, they will come and assist you like okay, what is your server? They execute these commands and get me the result. This kind of assistance we will be getting. This is main one of the issue that we found. Another issue is, so I want some rule which is not defined. So at the time, how I can so yeah, you're saying something.
Before you go to another example, I have a question
Yeah.
around the example
Yeah,
which
sure.
you gave. So as a common audience, like maybe forget about I'm not a developer or DevOps engineer and like that, right? So to understand a better way, if I have a Windows 7 version, I'm upgrading to Windows 10. Like that way, SonarQube 5 to SonarQube 10 or 12, we are upgrading. So I don't really get the point. Why can't we do that? So when we do that, we are already following set of rules, meet the requirement of the system, and we are implementing that. So when you do so, like you're perfectly following the system, but you still run into issues. Why that is happening? That's my caller.
Okay. See, so when you have a stable, that's where we have to choose the versionings, a proper version. Version in the sense, each version has a minor.
So when you say proper version, I'm choosing the version which is well equipped and well supported and used by everyone in the community and current market. I'm choosing that particular version. So I'm upgrading to way back. Like I didn't upgrade from some time back, but I'm upgrading to like a well-versed version, well-established version in the market. So in that case, we don't see a problem, right?
Yeah. So what kind? I mean, did you fall into this kind of scenario in your organization, or your
No, I didn't. But just a general question, because like how you show me example, like you writing a code in JavaScript, right? So my organization was using JavaScript APIs, and they are writing code in JavaScript to implement the APIs and everything. They were doing some Node.js upgrade. So someone told they are jumping from Node 8 to Node 12, which is not fair. So when they say so, if we are following a standard process, why it's not fair?
Okay. So basically, in order to make system works properly, what you have to do is you have to choose the LTS versions, not like non-LTS version. If you choose the LTS version, what is meant by LTS version here again? It's a long-term support version. It means that that version of that particular software has a thorough testing. It has been a bulletproof qualified of a software, then only they will be released to the market, and then only most of enterprise or every company will be using LTS versions of the softwares only. So when you choose LTS, very less probability that you will encounter a problem with LTS versions, because they have a lot of test cases they have to be run, and stress test cases and everything. Even still you face the issue or bugs or some other things, then you will be approaching their technical assistant team. They will try to assist you. When you are, let's say now you are in your example, you are upgrading node from 8 to 10, you basically you are not following a basic standard. You can't directly upgrade from 8 to 10 directly. You have to go to the standard procedure while upgrading your node. So once if you don't follow a standard procedure, how can you expect the system, the dependency of your tool has to be run without any issues? If you follow a particular standards in every aspect of every tool, let's say you are now the SonarQube has been dependent on the Java 11. Now you install a Java 8 and trying to run the SonarQube. You can't expect SonarQube to be run. In a similar manner, if you are facing an issues in the SonarQube which is not faced by the Sonar development team, meaning you have done some mistakes while upgrading itself. So if you follow the standards, definitely, I mean, their upgradation installation procedure or else their step by guide. So you definitely follow this. Here is the example. See this. For non-LTS versions, while upgrading yourself, while upgrading higher to the higher version, non-LTS version should be updated automatically. If you click on, let's say, it will give you pop-up like we got a newer version of our software, do you want to update? Okay, if it is a non-LTS, you could automatically do that. If it is a LTS, we have to do it manually. Why they have given manually means because you completely depend on the entire system which is already working very fine. Now you want to upgrade that. They don't want to make trouble by doing automatic of your own customized environment. Okay, that's why they have given you the manual process to upgrade that. Let's say, see this example. When you want to upgrade from 5 to 7, the migration path should be 5.1 to 5.6, from 5.6 to 6.7, and then to 11. All these are LTS. Let's say 5.1, 5.67, 6.7, or all the LTS. Now, in between, there is a one more version that is called 5.2, which is a non-LTS. You can't do that. Okay, if you do like this, definitely you will fall into the situations or the issues. Is there anything that it would help understanding?
Yeah, it's good. Maybe I understand based on our conversation is like when you do so, like since you are using one complete stack of set of tools, you might see hidden dependencies that will lead you into problems. So that's why you need to go step by step. That will help you to build it better, right?
Yeah, perfect. Correct. Okay.
Sorry, maybe we are lagging back on the time schedule. We can move on.
Yeah, sure, fine, no problem. And if others have, so sure. Okay, now let's come to our editions, or let's see the differences between each edition of our software. Okay, so basically we have a community edition which is a free, which is almost 2 lakhs of companies are using this community edition because they are fulfilling their requirements and they don't need the other editions of the SonarQube, because it has a wide variety of platforms. Let's say if you have some issues, there is a Stack Overflow, they have a jobs, they have a support page, they have a contacts page, they have a GitHub page, they have a other Jira page for their issues. If you found any issues, you can directly go away to the Stack Overflow, raise the questions about what is the issue that you are facing or how to approach your problem with your SonarQube, and what you can go with the Stack Overflow or GitHub or anything, and then you can create. You will it's like open source basically. The community edition is all about the open source only. You can create the issues and then get the help from the public. And what it contains, this has a 60 plus plugins, and it has a support the SonarLint. SonarLint is a plugin which you can apply for your code editors, you can install the plugin for your Eclipse editor, you can install the plugin for your Visual Studio editor or IntelliJ or something else. It supports more than 50 languages, which is majorly like Java, JavaScript, C#, TypeScript, and everything. It has been supported by the 15 languages, and it is a free and open source. And when you say developer edition, it is mainly built for the developers by the developers, meaning it's more into have a features with respect to the developers. Okay, when you say bug, okay, what is the bug? Where exactly? Of course, it has the community edition also has. It has more very intuitive than this community editions. It has a branch analysis, pull request decoration, detection of injection flaws, sonar links, and 22 languages it supports. But here 15 languages only. Okay, and so it has some more features than community edition. When you say enterprise editions, it has more into the management of different things like executive reporting, security reports, project transfer. It has a lot of other things, like other languages supports, which is not supported by the developer and community. Data center is more into have a high availability made, uh, making your, let's say if you are heavily depending on the SonarQube, then once one instance of SonarQube won't be enough to serve your entire organization. You should be running your SonarQube in a cluster mode. Multiple instances of your SonarQube should be able to respond to very highly scalable request. I mean, you should be run your SonarQube in high available mode, meaning if you're heavily dependent on your organization, if SonarQube has done whatever the software that has been depending on the SonarQube, that software will be stopped or paused for some time until the SonarQube instance comes down. So this is more into that. Okay, and this is the page that we want to go if we want. Okay, now let's back to our thing, and so these are the things. Most of the companies will go with the community edition and developer editions. Okay, and what are the requirements that we want? So the requirements is we should have a latest version of a Java. If you are going with the latest version of a SonarQube, that is means if you are using a Sonar, if you want to install of a Sonar of 5 plus version, you require a latest version of a Java, that is 11 or 10. It's definitely more than 8, Java 8, and it required a 2 GB of RAM plus 1 GB of RAM for the mission. Okay, I mean it's not necessary, but if you have this minimum configuration, you can easily able to play with your or else you can able to use the very easily with your SonarQube. Okay, now let me make sure I have any Java is installed. Guys, any questions on this? Now I'm going to try to install the Java into my mission and then install the SonarQube. Any questions, guys?
Nope.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the Java 11, which is here, because it's easily been suggested. Sudo apt install open JDK 11 JRE. I'm going to install it. JDK, I'll be installing it. I freshly installed it. It will try to download most of the updates from here, so it will take some time. It depends on the internet speed. We will wait for some time here until it is done. Okay, so it's done, it seems. Let's continue of that. Okay, so now I go install the Java 8, which is a dependency. We can install that also. JDK also we can do. Okay, and then what we are going to do is we will be take a one small Maven project and then try to analyze that Maven project by using a SonarQube. Then we'll analyze that result, whatever it has been done, and then see how we can. I mean, that is how we can learn anything. First, we'll throw some small example and then learn it. Okay. So let me wait for this time. We are going with the community edition first place. It has a very clear, very clear steps Once you can download the community edition, I went through the downloads page and then clicked on the download community edition, and then it's automatically downloaded here. Okay, now let me go to the get started page, which has been given me here. If you see, which is a 8.1 version. Okay, you will see this. So here is the requirement of that. What is the pre-requirements of a hardware requirements and the software requirements. It supports the Java platform of Oracle and OpenJDK, which is see, it won't support the Java 8. Previously it was supposed to Java 8 at least at max only, and now it won't support of a latest version of that. Okay, now what we can do is, let's go with some lower version, because we might encounter, definitely if you are adapting any SonarQube version, first you have to check whether it is being LTS or not. If you are using your SonarQube for the production, you should definitely choose the LTS version only. And if you are using for testing or how to see the reacting of how the SonarQube reacting, you will definitely go with any version of that. Let's try to go with the
So Narendra, when you say production, right? So we don't really go directly into production. So any software cycle is like you develop code, you push it to like a development environment. Before you do that, you run this SonarQube test and all that, right? So
yes.
What do you mean by that code is whether it is making it to production or not? That's what you mean?
So what I mean is, so let's say you are working in an organization and you want to adapt the SonarQube, and similarly your another colleague or another friend who is working in another project. I mean, they have they are telling like they have used the SonarQube in a production. They have tested it thoroughly and with their scenarios, and then moved to the production. By just saying your friend saying that I'm using a Sonar, which is we can directly go into the I'm using a 7.2 is the version which is LTS support, and I can directly use the 7.2 into my production because of my friend or my other colleagues has been used or other project have used. You can't do directly, right? You can first you have to, even though if it is a LTS approved, you have to download, and then you have to configure in your environment and do some test cases, and then apply your use case on the SonarQube, and then move it to the production with a lot of precautions, with the documentation of deploying, how you will be deploying your project into, right? So of course, you can't directly download and put it into production. It's not the right way. You have to, even if it is LTS, you should follow a procedure like set up testing of your environment, and then see how your project, I mean, how your SonarQube is reacting in your environment. Is there any hiccups? Is there any security ports that has to be open? A lot of things have. So you can't directly go to the production.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And where we are now, let me see. Now Java has been done. Let me check the version of that. Okay, now I have installed the latest version of Java, which is 11, and now let me run this documentation requirements. See, install the server. We have a documentation over here. Just install SonarQube. So very straightforward, installation of a SonarQube. You just need to download the SonarQube and then extract into your machine and then directly run that. Okay, so let me go to the older version of that. Request of freelance getting started. I'm trying to find a lower version of that. See, 7.9 is the latest LTS support from the community edition. But even though the current version is 8.1, which is not LTS, LTS means long-term support. Okay, so the long-term support of latest version is 7.9. We can download it here, which can be developer edition, enterprise edition, data center edition. Now we need a a community edition. So I'm going to download it. If you click on it, will download directly into the mission. So instead of that, what I'm going to do is I'm just copying the link here, and instead of downloading in my local mission and then uploading into the remote mission, I'm directly downloading into the remote mission by using wget, and then immediately you will be able to download it. So basically I'm downloading the software using a command line, that is by using a wget into the remote mission directly. Okay, it has some edition. Okay, 7.9. And how do you extract or how do you install means, once you done it, you have to unzip it in particular path and then run this command. If it is a Windows is also same procedure. Download the edition that you want and then extract it to one particular path and then run this command. If it is in other operating system, meaning Linux, you go to your SonarQube bin directory and particular OS and then run this command. Okay, so we will do that also same similar manner. Installation won't be taking much. Okay, so estimation 8 seconds. So let me do that, extract it. Okay, I have SonarQube 7.9 has been downloaded in my mission. So when you are working in Linux system, if you all the third-party softwares has to be done it in a OPT folder of Linux system. So for that I'm copying this SonarQube into OPT. OPT is for the optional. Okay, so this is a standard procedure that we can, of course you can extract here, you can run your SonarQube from the home directory itself, but when you're doing it in customer missions or else in your for the production, better to go for the OPT folder, which is for optional. Okay, sudo, which is being copied. Let me go to the OPT folder here, and then here I'm having, let me check the permission. So it is on the root permission, it has a read write and only read. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'm logged in as a Narendra, right? I'm getting you can directly extract it here. You will get a permission issues. So for that, what you can do is you can apply a sudo while unzipping that. Unzip that SonarQube. It will extract that. Guys, do you see my screen?
No.
No?
No.
No, just let me do that. Do you see now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sure. Guys, are you following all the things? Please let me know if it is getting bored or okay, guys, then someone has been asked, like, yeah, definitely it's been, we can take a break for 5 minutes and then we can start. If you guys are okay for 5 minutes. Now 9:57, we can back at 10:02, like that. If you guys are okay, we can continue with the break, or else we can continue with that.
I think we can continue.
Okay.
Without break.
Sure then. Okay then.
I don't know.
10:15 we can take a break. Okay.
Okay,
sure. So now we just extracted the SonarQube here, and then we'll go inside the SonarQube, and then inside the SonarQube we'll go to the inside a bin folder. Now let's check. We are into the bin folder and check what folder has been existed. These are the operating system which supports. Okay, now we are into Linux folder, Linux system, right? We can go to the Linux folder. If you are into Windows, we can go to the Windows, and then we can see particular files respective to the Windows only. Okay, Linux, we are into that, and then let's see that there is a sonar.sh. Okay, now let's go to this. Just 1 minute, guys. Okay, we have to execute this command after that. Okay, this is a .file console. Okay, sonar.sh.console. .sh is a shell script. Why shell scripts means you can execute the shell scripts in a Linux only. If it is a Windows .bat file, okay. So this is how you will be executing the dot or any shell file in a Linux ./sonar.sh. Okay, and then permission needed. So simply use the sudo, or else you can change the permission of the directory. Now it has been trying to start a JVM from a Java mission. If any issues, it will directly throw that a Java has been not installed or something like that. Okay, now it seems to be it's up and running. I mean, it's started. It will take generally 2 minutes of time to make up and running, even based on your system configuration, which will be accessible in 9000 port. So now I want to access the SonarQube in a remote mission. My remote mission address is 192.168.7, which is running on the 9000 port only. Okay. By default, SonarQube will be running in a 9000 port. See, there is some problem into this. SonarQube has been stopped. Why? Let's see that. So these kind of issues also you will be facing while implementing this. See this 64 launch process, Elasticsearch 9000. Let's try to see why and what's happening. I have installed. I should be installing the JDK also along with the JRE of 11 version of Java. No modules has been loaded. Indemnity. Yeah, that could be the problem. Definitely, that is a problem. I just installed the JRE only. JDK also we have to be installed. Let me install that. Okay. If you see my previous command, JRE I have used, right? I have to use a JDK also. Okay. So that should fix our problem. You have to make sure your Java 11 of JDK and JR to be installed. Okay. And then later on, what we will be doing is, once we started the SonarQube server, we will be take a small Maven or Java related project which is having vulnerabilities, some code issues like not followed industry standards or smells, vulnerabilities, function parameters not used, all kind of issues we have. There is one project we will upload, or else we will analyze that project into from the SonarQube by uploading that. Okay. Let me see that has been into my GitHub. So that is like where it is. So this is my personal repository, and we can do. This is the one thing. This is the Maven project. Maven or Spring Boot. I mean, it's basically a Maven project. We can add the Springs also, Spring Boot also. It could be, in your case, your project could be in Java. Java. Your project could be in Node.js. Your project could be in Python. So this is my source code. Now, if in your organization you have a Sonar Python project, you have some repository. Download that repository and then upload into SonarQube. Like I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, guys, are you following me? Please let me know if you are not following, if you are any stuck anywhere. So this is so first I have to download my source code. I have to provide my project into the SonarQube, right? For this, I want to download my project over here. So I'm making sure that is available in my local machine. So for that, meanwhile, it is taking some time to install that also, right? So for that, I'm doing another, I'm doing a similar process in another terminal. Okay, this is username is wrong, which is a Narendra. Let's give this one. Okay, I've logged into that, and now I'm downloading this project over here. Okay, so for this, what I'm doing is, you can clone this project into your mission, or else you can download it separately and upload into your mission. What you have to do is, you have to make sure your code is available in this mission. So for that, what I'm doing is, I'm directly using a wget command and given a path for this master.zip. So it's automatically downloading. Yeah, now it has been downloaded. This is called master.zip. Now I'm unzipping my source code. Okay, now my code is available. The project name is SonarPet, which is I have used it's a one small pet project, which is a Maven, and I especially developed used for Sonar purpose on it. I'm going into the Sonar, and here this is the project structure. Okay, now let's see. I'm done. Let's try to run the Sonar now. JVM started, and let's see what's happening. No modules loaded over here. What happened? I'm waiting for any issues has been come. There will be one message will be coming here. It should be up and running. See, there is some more issue, but let's see. SonarQube has been failed to get the node info. 9,000. What happened? SonarQube has added. So there is some deprecate version over here, which will release. Elasticsearch is listening in 9001 port. Let me check any process has been running on the 9000 port. Oh God. So guys, what happened is, I tried to run what I'm facing is, I tried to run the SonarQube and I faced an issue. What that issue? I'm analyzing it. So it is saying that it suddenly stopped the SonarQube, which is trying to connect from the 9001 port. 9000. This is all internal of the SonarQube. We will see that. Okay. Now let me try with another version of that. Community edition upgrade requirements. see all the versions. 7.2, which I tried everything working fine. So I'm downloading this. What I'm doing, guys, is I'm downloading another version of SonarQube to try what happened. It is copy link address. See, this is kind of a smaller only. These kind of issues we will be generally getting while configuring that. We'll see what's happening. Now, even if we are facing a similar issue with other versions, means there is some problem with our mission also. It could be, there is also be reason. We might not be met the requirement of that. We might not install the Java version properly. That could be also be the reasons. Guys, are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll see, and we'll take a break in 5 minutes. So just bear with me for guys, since we take that. I know it's 3 hours, right? But it's somewhat more headache, but still we have a less time, right? So what I'm doing is I'm unzipping the 7.2 version here. Because why I have chosen this version only, this version has no issues, because in our production we are using this only, I mean in our company. SonarQube 7.2.1, and here inside a bin I'm going with Linux. Okay, I want to check. Our is a 64 mission, and this is the one. Okay, now Sonar console. I got one more point. If you see here, there are two things, Linux 32 and 64. Let me get the message. It will take some time to know that. Meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll check whether I have a 32-bit mission or 64-bit mission. It's a 64-bit mission only. My mission is 64-bit mission. All process has been up and running. Let's try to do this. Yeah, it's up and running now. Okay, what is the problem in the previous thing is I copied into the OPT folder, right? Let's try to understand what went wrong in the previous version of that. It's a bin, and we have seen Linux 64-bit mission. So we have only one type, which has been 64, and again it's mentioned as a 64. It should work, but it's not working. But here, if you see in our thing, we have two versions over here. One is a 32 version and 64-bit version. In every version, you should be getting these things. Whether are you running the SonarQube for 32-bit or 64-bit version of your system. Most of companies will be used for 64-bit only, because every server in a 64-bit only, right? So now this is SonarQube has been installed, guys. So any questions since we followed some kind of an issue? Do you have any questions or any not clear? Can you guys give a clear response on that?
I'm good.
Okay, so you guys can ask any questions if you have, and we can take a break now. Meanwhile, it will start also, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's continue that. Now we have configured our SonarQube, which is up and running, which is on 9000 port by default. And this is the once you are, I mean, you can easily see what's happening in a background. Okay, when you start a console option, you will be definitely getting all the things. Okay, in real time, how you would run is, so you will be running that process in a background. For that, here what we have done is sonar.sh.console, right? This is running your foreground, meaning it's lively running, and then you are seeing all the logs, everything is here. Now you don't want to run these all the informations to be here. I want a terminal back, so you have to run it in a background mode. For that, in real time, how we can run is NoHub. We will be using .sonar.sh.console and logs, sonar.logs. What does it mean is, this until this command is very similar, we know that this is the command to start a SonarQube. And what is a NoHub is? NoHub is a Linux command line tool which will help us to send a process to the background. Okay, and here what this symbol is, will whatever this command is giving as an output will be logged into this file. This is a sonar.log. You can be test.txt. You could be anything. This is a file name that you want to be logged the result of this command. Okay, and at the end of the line, this you will be using the and symbol. By executing this command, what would happening is, this process will be running in a background. You will be getting your command back. I mean, command prompt has been back. Guys, did you understand? This is how we will be running in a real time. Clear? Or any questions on this? You can apply this procedure in any of the applications. Let's say I have to run one Node.js project. So if your project want to run by using this command called node.index.js, this is the command to run your project. Okay, now you can put completely into this and you will be getting directly. Okay, this is how we will be running. Clear, guys? Now I don't want to, because I have to stop it, and again it will take some more time to back up, so I'm not running. But for your information, this is how we will be running in any process in a background, which is a Linux module. Okay, in a Linux OS. Okay, now let's come to this our thing, where it is. Okay, this is the dashboard where we can see the all the information. It supports the more than 20 plus languages. Major is the Java and quality modes. It's all about some introduction. What it supports the different things like it supports the SonarQube scanner, CLI, Visual Studio, Mav and Gradle, Jenkins, a lot of things it will support. We will talk about that. First, let's log into that. So by default, the credentials are admin, and admin has the default credentials for this to log into the SonarQube emissions. Okay, so once you logged in, if you are able to see that, welcome to the SonarQube. Want to quickly analyze the first project. Follow these steps. Basically, this is how we will be creating a project. We will skip this. It is like a tutorials. Okay, just we'll skip that. And if you are seeing here, you are getting some kind of an error message. Embedded database should be used for evaluation purpose only. The embedded database will not be scaled. It will not support upgrading the newer version of the SonarQube, and there is no support for migrating your data out of it into different database engine. So what does it mean is this SonarQube internally uses a one database. That database is nothing but a why it's using a database is it will store you the result. Let's try to understand how the SonarQube will work. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's say this SonarQube server, which is running on 9000 port. Okay, and SonarQube.9000 port, which is running. Let's say some port localhost colon 9000 port, and internally it has different components. Okay, what does it is? One is a web server, another one is a computer engine, and a library of plugins, which is not the database. Okay, and let me name it out that, which is a SonarQube server. Internally uses a web server, which is nothing but a netty. The server name is netty, which is similarly like Tomcat or Apache, npm. These are the web server that internally uses a netty. Netty is the web server for that. This is also one of the interview questions. What is the web server internally? It uses by the SonarQube. It's a netty web server, which is built on a Java only. Okay. Now next one is a compute engine. Compute engine. Okay, what is the purpose of compute engine is the rules that you define or the rules that has been by default has to be applied on your code that will be done in the compute engine part. What it will do is you have a files, let's say your project files, let's say file 1.java, it has a 2.java, and you have your all the files of your things, and then there will be some rules. These rules are nothing but a constraints. These rules will be applied on these files and get the result. The entire process will be done by the compute engine. Okay, and this pool of is nothing but a plugins. Internally, everything has a plugins. Like Jenkins has some plugins, right, in order to support particular language. Let's say now you are running a Python project into Python project, want to analyze your Python project into SonarQube. SonarQube will have some default plugins for the Python project. If you found the plugin is not there, you will be installing that plugins by default, which is having a lot of plugins. Okay, so this is one thing, and internally it will have a one search engine, which is nothing but a search server. Why you need is, let's go to this. When you do some searchings, let's say you created some project and you have a multiple project, it is like a searching which will help you to do some searches. Okay, this is the internal working of a SonarQube server. Okay, now this is the internal part. Now let's try to understand in a real-time scenario. Okay, so what would happening is, now you have your project which has been written in Java or Python or else Node.js or anything, and what it will do is, and you have some rules or whatever I mentioned here, right? That is a bigger picture of this. In here we'll call it as a scanners, which is nothing but a SonarQube scanners. This SonarQube scanner is been different for different build projects. SonarQube scanner for Windows MS build, and SonarQube for Maven, and for Ant projects, for Gradle projects. Meaning these scanners are available for different languages, different technologies. MS build is for the Windows, .NET, C# languages. Maven is for the Java projects, Spring Boot projects. Ant is for the Java. Again, it's a different. Gradle is for these are the scanners. What the scanners? The scanners has a set of rules and standards that is related to bugs, check styles, vulnerabilities, comments, documentation, architectural design pattern, null checks. It has a set of rules. When you create a project here, these rules will be applied on these languages. Your project structure. Okay. What would happen is, once you've done this process, it will apply these set of scanner rules into your project and then get back these results, and that will be stored in one of the database that will be connected with your, I'm sorry for the bad diagram, that will be connected with your database. This result will be stored in this database. These databases can be H2 as a by default, which is a MySQL or PostgreSQL, or else Oracle. All SQL databases it would support. By default, when you install our SonarQube, what would happen is H2 database will be installed by default, which is a very lightweight database engine to process the structural query, structural data. By default, H2 has been enabled. Okay, so now let me walk you through this process over here. Okay, and now guys, clear? First I'll ask, while I'll show you this, and then and then walk you through the process, whatever I have explained in here. So currently there are no projects here, and then no projects. Let's try to understand. In first place, create a project over here. Okay, issues. We got to skip something, right? In a first, while logging into the project, that is the place where we have to be get created. Now projects here, there should be one plus button here to create a project. Let me re-log in again. Okay, we should have a way to create a project. So here, administrator, my account. 1 minute, guys. See, why we couldn't able to do is different versions are changing the UI pattern here. So, but the procedure, entire procedure will be the same one. 1 minute, guys. It should be created by default. It's supposed to have a 1+ button here, or a create a project. What I'll do is, I'll create a one more user here, and then this is the administration part of that. And Narendra, I'm adding into this. Okay, and I'm not administrator for this. What I'm doing is I'm just updating the details of here. So I'll be into this one. Okay, I'm the administrator now. Let me log into Narendra. What we have to do is, guys, we have a one project creation button over here. If you remember, well, the first time login, we could able to see there is a one tutorial where we have to give a project name, something like that. That has to be skipped over here. Let me find it out. Yeah. This is a 7.2 version. SonarQube create project in 7.2. Wait, guys, that has to be. That's where we have to know like what is the major minor versions of that. Okay, there is another way that we can connect from our system. Okay, let me show you that. So now we have our source code, right? Our source code means I have a project related to Maven. That is what I have downloaded here, which is a Sonar Maven pet. And this is a Maven project, right? I have a Maven to be installed for this. Guys, confusing or any comments on this? So are you following me? Guys, are you there?
Yes.
Are you following? Any questions or confusing more? Just let me know, or like what's happening, so I can try to correct or rectify it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to run. I have a Maven project, right? First, Maven should be installed in my machine, right? So that's what I'm doing. I have a Maven installed, so I'm checking the Maven after installing this. Here there is a one button should be there. Click new project, or here plus button should be there. updating Maven. So this is the Maven has been just installed here. No administrating projects yet. Okay, no problem. Now let's see that. Now I have a Maven installed. Let me check whether Maven has been installed by checking the command called mvn-version, which will give me a Maven version, which is a 3.6.0. Okay, now I'm inside of my project. Let me walk you through what this project. See, there are a different, not like different, yeah, of course, different 3 ways of creating a or communicating with the SonarQube. Okay, with the, from your project. One is like creating a new project in SonarQube dashboard. Okay, this is one way. Second one is creating a dashboard, and then it will give you some, it will give you a key. That key should be provided in your project. That is one way of creating a project by using a SonarQube dashboard. Another one is from your source code, you have to provide some SonarQube properties in a SonarQube.properties file, and then provide SonarQube server information, and then create a project. Okay, this is the second way. Third way is from your code, you can write web APIs, which is nothing but you can SonarQube exposed some APIs. You can utilize those APIs and then create projects or analyze the project in the SonarQube. Okay, so those APIs, so these 3 ways that you can do. Okay, now we try to see the first one here. This first one is we as suppose it should be able to, it should have a some plus button, and create a new project option should be on the dashboard. We couldn't see somehow, not sure what happened. Next one is from our source code, we will create a SonarQube.properties file, and there we will be mentioning all our SonarQube configuration parameters in order to analyze our code. Okay, that is one other way. Another way is, third one is from your source code, you have to create some APIs. I mean, basically SonarQube provides some APIs in order to communicate from a programmatically. Okay, so now we are following the second one. We will go to the first one also. Meanwhile, let's see what happened. Okay, so first one is Maven. For this, first you have to compile it. Once your project has been downloaded, since it's a Maven project, you have to be get compiled. So when you compile, what would happen is internally it will download all the dependencies of a Maven project and download into locally. This is what it is going to be doing. Okay, even if you what are the commands that we will be doing is Maven compile. This is one command, or else Maven run, Maven test, Maven sonar. So these 3 will be common for any other library. So this command why we have added is, let me run this Maven compile. it will download all the libraries, and then it will take a lot of time to do that. Meanwhile, we will do one more thing. Okay, so we will analyze, as I told you, we will create a one SonarQube.properties file and then add a few more parameters, right? So we will do that meanwhile. Meanwhile, it will download other dependencies also. Okay, when compile, let me log into another window. Narendra mission 7. Password is this. Okay, now let me go to my project and let's see. There is a one file called sonar.properties. Now, when in your scenario, there might be a project which is not integrated with the SonarQube. At that time, what you have to do is first, inside a project of a root folder of the project, create a one file called sonar project.properties and add those parameters. What are those parameters? These are the parameters. Okay, sonar project key, Java sonar runner simple, project name, version, sonar sources, sonar language, sonar source encoding. These are the parameters that you have to definitely pass to your project. Okay, so we will understand this, what this project is all about. Let me go to this where it is getting started, right? Installing the analyzing source code, analysis parameters. See, so these are the parameters where you can find is mandatory parameters sonar.host.url. You are saying that you are saying to your project saying that sonar is being available at this URL. By default, if you don't provide sonar.host.url, by default it will be going to the localhost colon 9000. Meaning you are currently in the demo which I'm showing, sonar, my project, sonar scanner, everything is in a my mission, meaning in a single mission. In a real time, that could be in a different missions. Okay, sonar running in another mission separately, your project in another mission. So at that time, what you have to do is you have to mention your sonar URL path, which is nothing but like this sonar host URL that is running on some, let's say 192.168.9.3, which is on, it could be any port 678 something. You have to mention like this, then only it could able to communicate with that. If you don't provide, what would happening is by default it will assume that SonarQube is running on a local mission only. So that's what it will take the parameter. That is a definitely mandatory parameters for the projects. This is related to what are the mandatory projects. I mean mandatory parameters. There are two things. One is a server, another one is a project related parameters. For the server related, this is a definitely, if you don't provide, it will take the default value as localhost colon 9000. And the project key, sonar.project key and sonar.sources is definitely. What this project key is all about. Sonar project key is nothing but Java, which is like a simple unique identifier that you can find it in a sonar dashboard with this name. Project name is simple Java project, analyze it with the SonarQube runner, and project version is a 1.0. Okay, and next one is, this is important, right? Sonar.sources. What does it mean is you are telling to the SonarQube, hey, I have a one folder called SRC, everything you have to scan everything under the SRC. Let's see, our project is also, our project structure is also having SRC folder. See, SRC. So what it is going to do is Sonar is going to scan this entire SRC folder. Okay. Okay. By the way, Sonar compile has been done successfully. What happened? Okay, we will come together once we have done. So I'm telling to the Sonar again, I'm going to use the language called Java. Meaning what happening is when the Sonar, when this when it is communicated with the SonarQube server, SonarQube server will be reading these properties, and these properties will be overridden if you provide it like this. By default, SonarQube will have some default parameters. If you provided couple of parameters through this sonar project.properties file, it will override it and then use these as a configuration. Okay, so these are the compulsory parameters when you are executing or analyzing your project with the SonarQube. Sonar.source encoding UTF-8. This is an encryption format for making. You are following this UTF-8 standard files or language. Okay, so guys, do you understand any questions? Are you following me? Guys, are you there? Guys, can someone give me response, please?
Yes, we are good.
Okay, cool, sure. So this is how we have to define. Now the scenario could be different, like now you got a task, like you have to enable the SonarQube for your project. It could be Java or Python or Node.js project. First, what you have to do is you have to create a sonar project.properties file and then give all the necessary parameters. Okay, now I have given this, and this is the one. Okay, now as I told you, right, there is a one scanner. That scanner has some rules, right? For this Maven project, we have to have that scanner to be in this as a dependency, right? In Maven project, there is a one file called pom.xml. In the pom.xml file, you will be defining all the dependencies of a libraries. This project required with respect to SonarQube, this project required a one Sonar scanner. That scanner has been defined in a pom.xml. Let's say if you are taking a what is that? Node.js package, Node.js project or JavaScript project, you will be defining that scanner, SonarQube scanner in package.json file. If you are working in a Python has a one X file. That X file you will be mentioning the Sonar scanner dependency. Since this is a Maven project, I'll be defining the scanner in pom.xml. It depends on your language, everything. Okay, let me see. Do you see this? There is a one Maven. There is a one Sonar scanner file over here, library. Wait, there should be here. That you will be mentioning over here. Okay, I'll show you in a bigger one. Okay. Let me do that. Okay, so for this sonar.sonar, this is the command that you will be using. Let me find it out. That. So this is the command that you want to be run in a Maven project. So when you execute this, what it will do is it will try to download all the dependencies, libraries, and then try to communicate with the SonarQube server, which is running on 9000 port. Let's see, is there any projects or is there any issues while running the this project? Guys, any questions? Meanwhile, it will try to download our dependencies. It will take time to show you that. So meanwhile, we can discuss if you have any questions. So it's downloading everything.
How long will it take?
It depends on the library that we have. It seems it's almost been, it's like 2 minutes only, but it's definitely depends on the libraries that you have given in a pom.xml file. But it's definitely less than 1 or 2 minutes. Depends on your internet speed also.
Okay.
See, if you see here, Sonar sources, there are some libraries has been downloading related to the Sonar here. Sonar source scanner. That what we mentioned in a pom.xml file, right? So that's what it's been. See, the SonarQube is analyzing. This is a 7.2.1. It started off SonarQube so SonarQube is analyzing from the web server to here. So it started off that. It's created a few things. It's loaded all the plugins. You can get all the information over here. And whatever you have done, this should be appeared in a SonarQube dashboard. What it is doing is it's reading the project repository files, it's activating the rules, it's applying the rules, and it's founding different files. It's trying to do it in a different files. And totally 460 files has been indexed. It found all the quality. It's applying the rules of Java, JS, and XML file, and it's all related to the Java only. Okay, it found all this. If you see here, there is some issues in our project or our it found some issues in our project source code, like person.js. It has been unsupported class file major version. It will show you all the issues over here. Okay, but let me go to the end of the thing. It totally has been 11 by 11 sources files has been analyzed, and it has been detected, and it's analyzing its another folder called a web app, all the JS files, totally 225 files it has. And the third file it has been analyzing, that is jQuery UI.min.js, and it is analyzing file by file. Now it's analyzing fifth file, that is jQuery. Whatever the project, actually jQuery is a library which we downloaded from the internet and then we are using it, right? When you have that library in your source code, when you given that as your path to your SonarQube to analyze it, it will analyze that source code also. So that's what it's doing. It's done by 77 files total. Let me okay, so this is what we will understand. What's this? Everything has been we can see everything in our dashboard, a project creation dashboard. Let's try to see whether did we have any project got created. Nothing, until and unless this process is getting completed, we can't see anything over here. See this, it's taking more time. jQuery.ui.custom.js file has a lot of files, it seems. Lot of code. It's taking time to analyze that file. I'm wondering it should have a 1+ file here to create a project and view. Okay, it's still in the same file. Let's see that. Okay, meanwhile we can also we will analyze these logs once we are done, once it's been done. It's not a big deal. Okay, now what we have to do is, so we have, once this process has been done, that result will be applied here. Meaning, like what are the issues that you have, how many code debut you have, what are the code smells, what are the bugs, what is the, how do you fix this, how many issues that you have, everything will be shown here. Okay, basically SonarQube has a, basically they will call it as a access of a SonarQube. What does it mean is, it's mainly focusing on the 7 parts. One is any potential bugs you have or any content standards you have. Potential bugs means you have one cross-site scripting vulnerability in your code. Someone might provide you session hijacking parameters in a URL format. Someone provide you a cross-site scripting flaws into your script. Someone upload you your payloads into your script. any that is related to all the potential bugs it will focus. Next one is a coding standards. Coding standards means you have to be utilized, you have to utilize all the parameters which you defined. You shouldn't be declared unrelated. I mean, you shouldn't declare and then used it. Whatever you declare, use it. If you don't use it, just remove from the source code. That kind of a standards. Complexity, how complex of your code, is it really easy to read, to understand, or is it a better, it's a tightly coupled or loosely coupled? And test coverage, how many lines of test coverages that you have done in your test cases, of all your test cases. It could be integration or SonarQube doesn't know whether it's a test static, I mean it's integration test cases or unit test cases, and it will just find out whether did you have a test coverage for all lines of a code, and are you providing any documentation or comments, do we have any duplication line of code, how much time it will take, they will call it as a technical debt, and is it designed properly or not. It will give you some kind of a design things. Okay, it will totally give you or focusing on these things called access of a SonarQube. So you might you can see here reliability, security, maintainability, coverage, duplications, size, language. These are the main parts that will definitely be looking into that. So meanwhile, we will understand this also. Okay, it's taking time. I don't know why this has been taken, but let's see. Okay, now meanwhile, what we can do is, as I said, this entire SonarQube will be focusing on these 7 topics of your project, all related to the potential bugs or following coding standards, complexity, all the things. Okay, and now let's try to go with. It seems to be done, but anyway, we will see that. Let's go to the administration part of it. Here, whatever you applied here, right? The project, issues, rules, quality profiles, quality gates, administration is a global related stuff. I mean, if you change anything under the administration of these menu, that will be applied to your all of your projects. Let's say in analysis scope, you have a here in under administration. I mean, what I mean to say is same options will be available for each and every project. Okay. Now I'm talking about the global level of configuration. Once you click the administration, you will have a different kinds of options like configuration related, security related, projects related, system related, marketplace related. Okay. Configuration, you will be finding general settings. Under the general settings, you will be finding the analysis scope. What kind of projects that you want to analyze. Coverage exclusion. Do you have any, do you want exclusively, I mean, do you want to exclude any files in your project? Let's say I don't want to scan my properties file. I don't want any dot, all the dot, I mean, hidden files. I can define all of your, sonar dot properties. I want to exclude this file from a scanning purpose. I can mention over here. Okay, the key will be used. See, it seems it's done. It's done. I'll come to this point, guys. So it's done here. It's totally analyzed report generated in this minutes, and size is 6 MB, and all has been zipped into 2 MB, and analysis is successful. You can access your analysis report under this thing. This is the URL. We can access that. More about reporting process. Let's try to go to this projects and then see. Okay, let me access this. 192.168.1.7, which is on 9000 port. 7 only, right? Our IP address is 7 only. Dashboard. We have a pet clinic project got created. This is our project. Now I'm wondering why we can't show this. I'm just clicking as my favorite. Let's analyzing the progress. Guys, are you following me? Any questions?
No.
So, sorry guys.
We have no questions.
Okay. So this is what Let me copy this URL and try to see this. Actually, it should be appeared in home page on the top button. Okay. So that was, yeah, see this that has to be applied on, shown in the home page of this. So I have analyzed one project called Pet Clinic. This has a 121 bugs of a level of a C. It has some kind of a levels about the bugs. It has a C level, 0 vulnerabilities, 34 code smells, and code coverage was being done by 0%. Duplication was a 74/7. Totally, you have a 47k, thousands of JavaScript and this line. Okay, and last analysis was done 20. See this 10:53 is the morning time. So this is what the small report about that. Okay, once you click on this, you will be understanding what it is all about. Okay, this is, once we clicked on this is what, as I told you, when I click on the previous button, administration, we have some settings, right? This is a project level configurations. You have a general settings or quality profiles. We will talk about this of this. First, let's understand this. This is the overview tab. This overview tab, you will be having a bugs, how many vulnerabilities you have, code smells, 4 hours of dev, coverage 0. Same report only. What this bugs is all about is, it could be anything. In a bugs, you will be having these many bugs, which file it has bug, what that bug is all about, what kind of a severity level it has. See, it has totally 121 bugs. Okay, now what is the file that has a bug? It has a bootstrap.js file. It has a refactor or remove this statement. What is this? I just clicked on it, and then here you will be seeing that this line has to be replaced, or else you have to refactor of it. Okay, it is a type of a bug which is a major issue. It has a major critical minor info issue. It has the issue is in open. It is not assigned to anyone. The time taken to fix this is 10 minutes of effort. This is nothing but a code debt. Code debit means here, right? Just clicking on this, code debt. Code debt means the time taken to fix all of these 121 bugs and 34 code smells. No. 4 hours per code smells alone. They will call it as a code debt. Code debt means the time taken to fix all these issues. 4 hours to fix these 34 code smells. Okay, now we will talk about that also. Now let's go to this bug section. Under the bug sections, you have first this kind of almost all the bugs are almost in similar manner. See this, This file has similar manner. It required it is a bug. It is a severity type of a majority. The issue is open and it is not assigned to anyone. The time it takes for the 10 minutes. Okay, and it is related to CWE MSRA unused. What kind of a bugs this has been categorized into? It has been CWE MSRA unused. These are the some kind of a grouping names. This issue or this bug will
Naren, we
yeah.
can't hear you.
Sorry.
We lost your voice for a couple of minutes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, now it's
okay. Okay. Do you see my screen now?
no, not yet.
Not yet. Oh, I lost you guys. Okay. Do you see now?
Yes, we are.
Okay, cool. Okay, guys. So we are talking about the bugs and the issues we have. Did you see this? What I'm talking about, this bug has been related to, it is a bug, vulnerability or code smell. What kind of issue it is? It is a type of a bug issue, and the severity of the bug is major, and it has been not open. It is in an open state. It has been not closed or else resolved or fixed, and it won't be fixed, not like that. The status of this bug is open state, and it is not assigned to anyone. If you have to assign, you can assign it to particular someone. Okay, so it required 10 minutes of time to fix that. It has been this kind of an issue has been fall under the CWE MISRA unused groups. These are the groups, these are the types of bugs names. Okay, and now let me go to another one. Like that, you can go on each and every file of each and every bug and then see what is the line number, what it is a bug or major, what's the issue it is. It will try to explain as much as possible. Okay, so you can see all this. This is how you will be analyzing, and this is what you have to, if you are a DevOps person, you have to generate this report and then give it to hand out to your project manager, or else you have to be analyzed, you have to understand, or else you have to pass the same thing to your developer to fix off all this. Okay, and next one is vulnerabilities, right? We have done vulnerabilities. These are called issues. Issues are these many. Code smell. Code smell means you have a totally 34 code smell. Code smell means let's say we are here, right? Sometimes we'll be getting some burning smell. What means something is burning, we don't know what exactly. In a similar manner, here in this particular line there is some issue, but I'm not sure what that issue. It will try to assist you remove these parentheses. It is trying to tell you, but you don't know what exactly. That's why it is suggesting you there is a one small probability where there will be some issue in the future. It might not be now, but in a future you will be definitely get this issue that has been a severity of major, and it has been open state and not assigned to anyone. It required 1 minute of effort to fix this issue. Okay, this is called a code smell. Totally in this project, totally 34 smells, code smells we have, and that is in this file custom.js, jQuery UI.js, jQuery UI date picker. It will be showing you all the list of the files. Okay, and the severity blocker is one type, and minor is it will tell you this is very blocker. It will make you block the entire project execution. If you see any blockers in your project, you shouldn't be delivered. That's definitely sure. And even if you have a criticals also, if you have any of these major critical blocker of a severity type of issues, you definitely not deliver or not deploy the project into environment or hand over to the project to the customer. Once you've done of all these severity issues of a blockers, of a critical, of a majors, then only you can at least have a assurance that my software is having a very high quality of that. Okay, and yeah, so in this project I have a major of 31. These are the majors of these files, and these are the issues I have. And the resolutions, you can unresolve, there are unresolved things. Once you fix this unresolved will become a 0. Okay, and status, all the status opened issues are 31. And when it is being creation, I mean, it's basically filters. You can apply all these filters. It will, if you want an overall view, you can get it over here. Totally I have 120 bugs and 0 vulnerabilities and 34 code smells. I have a 4 hours of debit, and I don't have a test coverage for anything. It means 0%. Totally I have a duplications of 74 basically. Okay, density I have, see, code this duplication has been in all the files, most of the files. Duplicate lines are 47 lines. These are the files has a duplication lines, and duplicate files, it has a 109 files. See, if you see here, it's I mean, it's basically all have the same files, but the file names is a different, because it is all about the date picker dot all. These are the different languages. These are the date pickers, so you don't need to worry about that. So totally it has compiled lines of code is 46,500 something. Total lines code including the spaces, curling braces and everything is a 64. Statements means if statements, switch statements, for loops, all the statements are 22,000. Functions has been 3,767. 0 classes has been found. Total files is 277 files. Comment lines was being done by the 5,000. And the percentage of the comments that you have given for this project is 10% only. And how much complexity that you have? Cyclomatic complexity versus cognitive complexity means, cyclomatic complexity means that the complexity that you can understand by seeing your code, and cognitive complexity means the internal complexity which we can't see directly. Logically we can see that complexity. That is what the cognitive complex. Cyclomatic complexity means the way once you open the code and understand the code, then you easily understand. That is a cyclomatic complexity. And totally these many issues you have, all are open issues. I mean, if you fix any open, I mean, if you open any issues, it will become under the reopened issues. Confirmed issues means you will be confirmed this is definitely issue, not from our side. You can define all these like this. Guys, do you understand? Any questions on this?
No issues.
Okay, so I hope it's understanding fine. If you have any questions, you can clearly ask me. So now this is how, when you join a company or working as on a SonarQube as a DevOps person or a project manager, you will understand all this stuff. Based on this, you will decide. If you are a project manager, you will decide, okay, our project has these many issues. We have to allocate a particular person to resolve these issues, and we have to contact a particular person to make understand this issue, and we can postpone the release to a particular other time. So this is what you can do by understanding of this. If you are a developer, you will go to these of each file and then fix that issue and then understand it. Okay, and so this is based on your role, you will have to utilize this information. Okay, and the next one is what I'm talking about is, as I told you, analysis parameters. Analysis parameters having a different types basically. If you go to general settings, so each and every whatever you have, right? SonarQube, duplication related, whatever you see, everything that you can configure from a Sonar project, I mean sonar.properties file. If you see here, if you go to the project administrations and then click on the analysis scope, Here you can define what are the files that you can exclude, what are the duplications that you can exclude. You know, okay, this file, this folder has some duplication code. I know that this is not a matter for me, or else even client agree that. So I don't want scan that to be by the SonarQube. So I'll be mentioning that path or file here. And what are the source files as I want to be exclusives. Inclusions, I definitely want all the files which is starting like this, all the folders, all the files of .js of all the things, whatever it may be. So I want all the, you know, definitely I want to scan of all these files with these patterns. So if you want to mention that is in a property file, you have to use the configuration sonar.inclusions like this. That is in a sonar.property file. Okay, that is what we have. Sonar.properties. Okay, nano sonar.properties. Here you have mentioned, right? Here this is how you will be mentioning all these parameters. We can go to the our configuration file and everything and know what are the parameters that we can provide, what we cannot, what we need by go to this analysis parameters. Basically these analysis parameters that you can have a two types. One is a global analysis parameters, which you can go to access administration of the global configuration and general settings. Meaning you have administration. This administration tab will apply for every project, irrespective of any project, it will apply for everything. No, I want, this is a global analysis parameters that you can configure here. Okay, and so these are also general settings. So these are all like keep only one analysis day after 24 hours that I can be having this process. Keep only analysis after a week after. So it is basically some configuration, how much time that I could be show you this project analysis for a long time, week or how many hours or something, a month or particular version, all analysis after these many hours or these many weeks. How many days that issue has to be fixed, 30 days, clean the directory, when it has to be done, you can define all your settings under the general section. Okay, now if you have a Java, I know that Java has some issue. Java, by default Java, there is a one rule. That rule I know that, and I don't want that rule to be applied on my code because it has some issue. I feel like that, so I want to exclude that rule in a Java language. So at that time, go to administration part of either global or administration. Project level. If you go to the global level, that rule will be applied of all the projects. No, I want that Java rule to be removed only on a project level. Means select the pet project, pet clinic, or your respective project. Go to the administration, go to the Java, and then you can apply your rules or files here. So you can define all your information. Let's say if you install any plugin in a SonarQube, that plugin information configuration you want, that plugin is related to the Java. Then that configuration of information will be available under the Java plugin here. Okay, so this is global analysis parameters. Okay, any questions, guys? And next, everyone, which we have in a section 2, we have almost covered issues, measures, plugin library, local branch analysis, and everything. But anyway, I'll just give you in 10 minutes of that. Any questions before moving to this?
Nope.
Guys, any questions?
Nope.
Okay, so now we already almost talked about this issues, measures. I'll talk to you about that. Okay, measures. What is a measures? Measures which we have already discussed. Measures having a reliability. How can you measure your project? A measure can be in a different ways. In a reliability manner, you have a 121 bugs. To redeem that or to fix that issues, you need a 2 days or 4 hours of a time depth. technical debt. Technical debit means the time taken to fix those issues called technical debit. It required to fix 121 bugs of, it requires 2 days or 4 hours of time to fix these 121 bugs. So if you go to this map over here, so see in a x-axis in a graph, technical debit, it required 40 minutes where to achieve, it's everything is been in 0%. So I'm just zooming it out. So let me mouse over this. I have this in this file. This is with at 0%. It required a 45 minutes of technical debit. Time. The file name is jQuery UI.js. Lines of code is 11,000 totally. The reliability rating is C, meaning it has a kind of a rating A, B, C, D like that. Security rating is very high. A means very high. We should immediately look into that. So this is these are called measures in terms of reliability, in terms of security, in terms of maintainability, in terms of coverage, duplications, and everything, which we already discussed. In a security measurement, we have a rating security measures. Okay, it does not have any count of the security vulnerabilities or something. It has a bugs only. Okay. And maintainability. In terms of maintainability, code smells are 34. It required 3 hours 37 minutes to fix these code smells. Code smells means, as I told you, a code which can be problematic in a future, not now, but it is not a showstopper. And so these are the things. And code coverages, you have to cover 21,000 of lines of code coverages. So this is the percentage. These are the measurements of a Sonar project. The measures of the project is reliability, security, maintainability, coverage, duplication. This is also one of the interview question. Okay. And next one is the issues. What is an issue? While running an analysis, a SonarQube raises an issue every time a piece of code breaks or coding error. Meaning, basically, what means, if when a SonarQube analyzes your code, if it finds your code has to be breaking some rules, it will treat it as an issue. That issue has a different kinds of severities. It could be blocker, meaning it's a very high probability blocker, and it can be impact your entire production application. Like what kind of an issue? It could be a blocker. If you have a memory leaks, if you have a DB connection which is not been closed properly, these kind of issues will be blocker severity. And next one is a critical severity. Critical severity means it's a low probability to impact your application in a production environment or any environment. You have to immediately look into that. What kind of these issues? It could be SQL injections or cross-site scripting or web hijacking sessions, parameter hijacking. These kind of issues will be coming under the critical. Next one is a major. Major means it is a quality flaw. It will be high impact on a productivity of the developer, meaning he has defined a duplicated code which is not been which is impacting his productivity, and unused variables. These kind of things will be come under the major issues. Okay. And next one is minor. It has a low impact to the developer productivity. What kind of means? It is not ended with the semicolon, but it works. That kind of issues will be coming under the minor issue, minor severity. Info means it's not neither a bug or it's not a flaw. It's just an information. Let's see what those is. So if you go to your issues, so these right issues you have, right? So it is a bug. It is a major issue or critical issue, minor issue, info, blocker, and you will be finding off all these issues. And the next one is the status. Issue status can be open, confirmed, resolved, reopened, closed. So by default, whenever SonarQube find out an issue, that will be default in a open status. If you know that, okay, if you fix that issue, I mean, if you know that that is been an issue, then that will be confirmed issue. And if you resolve that, you have to move it to the resolved state. You can change the issue status in either of this. By default, it will be open state. That you have to do it in a manually. Okay. Any questions, guys?
No.
Okay, guys, are you able to following me, like understanding?
Yes.
Okay, so the issue life cycle, as I told you, like once sonar has been detected, that will be by default in open state. If once you see that issue, you will confirm that it has been confirmedly issue. Okay, now you can confirm or you can unconfirm it, or else from the confirm state you can resolve or you cannot resolve it. Okay, so this is the life cycle of an issue. And next one is a plugins and libraries. When you want to install any plugins, first you have to go to this administration and then go to the marketplace, where you can see a list of plugins over here. So these are the list of plugins. If you know any of the plugins, you can directly type here and then it will show you all the plugins related to your search result. Okay, and even you can do I mean, you can create your own plugin and then install also. Okay, it is showing that you are running a current community edition. Each one has it's showing its valuables. I mean, it's differences of different editions of a SonarQube, like developer edition, enterprise edition, and everything. And the next one is yeah, so basically you can install the plugins in a two ways. One is through update center, like going to the administration marketplace and then find it out and then install it and then restart. It will be available for use. And the second one is manual installation. What you can do is, for the manual installation of a libraries or plugins, is you have to download that plugin jar file. Definitely plugin will be in a jar format because it has been developed in Java only. You have to download that jar and put that download jar in home directory of a SonarQube inside the extensions folder plugins. Then only you could able to access that. So that has been under the OPT. No, that is like a SonarQube. SonarQube 7.2, and I mean, it has extensions folder and then plugins. You have to put your plugin inside of this folder. Okay, that is under your home directory of SonarQube under extensions and plug. These are the two ways that you can install the plugins. Next one is a branch analysis. Basically, branch analysis means if you go to your project and if you click on your project, you are seeing here is a master branch. Now all this process or analysis is respective to the master branch. If we have multiple branches, you can just click on this and then you will able to see that. Since it's a community edition, you are not having a branch analysis functionality in this community edition. There is a inside a developer edition, you can able to do a branch analysis. So if we have a branch analysis, there are two types. One is long-lived branch and another one is a short-lived branch. Okay, what it is meant? Long-lived branch means so we will be keeping this branch for long time, which we definitely needed that. Like we have a 5.6 branch, 6.0 branch, 6.1 branch. From this, we are having a 5.61 branch. It's been a sub branch from the 5.6. From this branch, we are keep on updating or fixing some issues. So we definitely need this. It will be stay for a long time, and it's definitely required. When it's a short-lived branch means, let's say you released one version of a software, you found a one issue. You immediately take another branch to fix that issue, and then merge that issue into the main branch again. So that in between these issues are the, let's say you have taken a 5.6.1 branch, you found an issue, Now you took a that fixed branch issue, that issue branch, fixed it, and then merge into the main branch. These branches are called short-lived branches. We can analyze these two types of branches. Okay, and this is the feature that we are getting from the SonarQube. And the next one is web APIs. Basically means, as I told you here, you can access your project, or you can talk with your SonarQube in a 3 ways, right? One is creating a new project, SonarQube dashboard, and then provide a necessary configuration. And the second one is configuring the SonarQube properties from your source code, like by creating a sonar.properties file and then giving the parameters to that. And the second one is interacting with the SonarQube using the APIs. Let's what is that in the web API? So this is the what. So it has exposed a couple of APIs. Those APIs has been, that is how you will be working with that. How means you have to create a programmatically, you want to interact with the SonarQube. The scenario could be is your client will tell you like, I want that I have my own analysis tool. Please forward or pipeline your sonar analysis result to my analysis tool. At that time, you have to give some APIs to your client or some other one who want to utilize your analysis through programmatically. Then you will open these APIs to them. Okay, let me show you some examples of web API authentication. Okay, this is how you can access those APIs. And the next one is a rules. What is a rule again? Rule is nothing but a constraint, and it executes on a code and raises an issue on that. There are 3 types of rules: reliability rules, maintainability rules, and security rules. Guys, are you following me? Narsimha or Vishnu?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Let me go to this. Just 1 minute. Where is this? Yeah. So these rules, right? These rules. Okay, let's understand these rules that you can filter based on the language. Let's say I want a rule. I want to see how the rule it is. I want to know the Java rule. Okay, there are totally around 471 rules here. Let's see what kind of a rule it is. Let's see this. It is a Java rule, and it is a type of a bug. It has some certification standards. Just click on this rule. This rule is a type of a bug. It is a type of severity is a minor, and it is a analysis scope is a main sources, and it is a type of a category of the bug or the rule. It is related to API design or async await, backbone, bad practice, clumsy or confusing or duplicate. What kind of a category of this bug is? It's available today, right? So it has been done. It has been by the Sonar Analyzer plugin. It required it is a constant or issue. You can fix it in 5 minutes. What that rule it is? A key. It's all about it's one of the example of how it will treat that as an issue. Okay, so this is the full description of that. Like this, it has a lot of rules. You can create your own rules also. So this is the rule which has been defined. It is a type of a bug, and severity is a major. It is into main sources, and it does not have a tags, and it is not categorized into any of these. And this is the small example of this and how it will be treating that. Okay, this is a rule. Rules you can be implement in a 3 ways. That is like a reliability rules, maintainability rules, security rules that you can implement it. Okay, now the part is quality profiles. What is a quality profiles? A quality profiles contains a set of rules. This quality profile, this profile is nothing but a SonarWay, which is coming in a inbuilt. Okay, SonarWay, it is related to C#. Flex language has a one profile that has been come as a a built-in. Okay, and Java has a one profile. You can have that is from the default. Okay, now let's click on the Java. Okay, this quality profile has totally 96 totally. It has a 315 active rules. Among 315 active rules, 96 bugs, vulnerabilities are 28, code smells are 199 rules. This quality profile. What is a quality profile again? Quality profile is a set of rules. They are calling it as a quality profiles. Let's say in your company you have to create, you can create your own rules and you can add those rules to your quality profiles, and you can apply those quality profiles to your project. So this is how you can do that. Okay, this is nothing but a quality profile. Guys, are you clear? Mantosh, Nasim or someone?
Yep.
Okay, Nasima, Vishnu, Shankar. Okay, next. So this is what that is all about, quality profiles, and you can create your own quality profiles. Try to let me show you. I'm running late, but just give me 15 more minutes. We can close this quality profiles. We can create quality profiles also. Let me show you that. Okay, create here in the quality gate. Quality, what is a quality gate? A quality gate is a dashboard where you can see all kind of your quality profiles over here. Okay, so now I'm going to create a quality gates. Under the quality gate, I'm going to create a quality profile. Let me create a my project is NCMS test. Okay, so I created a one, and under the NCMS test, so I'm going to add this quality gate to this project. What are the projects that I can apply? I can apply this project with this. Okay, and I'm done with that. What kind of a quality gate or the quality rules I'm going to add? What is that? Bugs related quality less than. I mean, this is how you can define warning. What is the warning? What is the error? That you can define everything. I mean, you can define your own custom thing. Okay, I've just done that. I'm clicking on the quality here, and here I have created all the quality profile. Quality things here. So quality gate here. I've applied these. Now first I have to create a quality profile, and from the quality profile I'll be adding it to the quality gate. I'll add this quality gate to my project. Let me create a quality profile here. My quality profile is NCMS custom rules, which is a language of Java. Create that. Okay, now this project, do I need to inherit any rules from any projects? So I want a major rules from the defined by the SonarQube. So that is Sonar giving a built-in Sonar way quality profile. I'm adding those things, and moreover I'm adding my own things. Okay, I'm just adding the default profiles over here, and it, because it has a 315 active rules, and among that I'm going to create one more rules. So I want to activate this rule. I don't want to activate. I want activate of this. So okay, which one I want this to be a blocker. So I can add a custom rules over here like that. Okay, so this is how totally. Do you see that? Totally, I have added one more custom rule from another place. That is one which we got from 316 totally, and from default profiler quality profiler we have a 315 active rules. So like this we can add more rules to our project. Okay. So basically we can how we can create a new rules. You have to be write a SonarQube plugin for that if you want to implement your own rule, and another way is adding XPath rules directly from the SonarQube. Here is the way that we can create our own rule that isn't developed by using Java. Okay, so first you have to create a I mean, this is a sample documentation that how we can create our own custom rule and add it to our SonarQube project. Okay, and the next one is internalization. Internalization is nothing but it's a process of I mean, your whatever you develop, let's say you have developed an application, that application should be accessible in the Chinese language or Japanese language. Your so that you will be returning in English, I mean you will be returning the language in a Java, even though that language will be in a plain English, right? That language or technology will be in a plain English. That language itself want to be converted into the a particular language, you have to be use internalizations. There are different aspects of internalization with respect to the SonarQube. Translation for SonarQube, meaning there is a one plugin that has been written into another language or in a different language in the sense not technically, it's some other, but you want that to be integrated with the SonarQube. So what is the thing that you have to change a couple of settings in that from third-party service. That's one thing that you can make understand SonarQube. And the next aspect is translate for SonarQube community plugins. So open source plugins from the SonarQube community must embed only the bindings of a default locale. Locale is a particular parameter to set the configuration of a particular language. So these are all the things with respect to the internalization. Next one is a system upgrade. So this is, guys, so far clear or any doubts? Vishnu, Nasimha, Shankar.
It's clear.
Okay, next one is the main aspect is when you want to update your software. So what do you say? You have to follow a particular procedure. As I told you, I mean, Nasim asked the question initially, like what is the procedure and everything. Basically, it has mainly two types of versions. One is, we'll categorize it into two types. One is a non-LTS and LTS. LTS means long-term support versions, meaning it has a tested very thoroughly. It does not have any fixed issues or bugs. It's you can rely very I mean, you can reliable very interestingly without any issues blindly. Okay, and when you want to upgrade any of the versions, either LTS or non-LTS, if you have a non-LTS versions, it will automatically update by the system itself. You just need to give permission to that. If you want to upgrade LTS versions, you have to be upgraded to the first immediate version of LTS system and then go to the higher version of LTS system. For example, you want to upgrade from 5 to 7 version of that. These are all the what do you say, LTS versions. So the migration path should be like from 5.1 to 5.6, and then from 5.6 to 6.7, from 6.7 to 7. This is the way that you have to follow. You cannot directly jump into the upgrading the system. Okay, and the first and foremost thing is, when you are upgrading, we should be take a backup of entire SonarQube home project for the backup. If something happened, that we can have a backup. And the steps that we have to be followed to upload is, first we have to download the required upgraded version of the SonarQube, and that, let's say that is having a home directory, and manually install the non-default plugins compatible with your plugin. And next one is sonar.properties file will be here. Let's go and see there. What you have to give is, you should be changing those URLs over here. Let me go to this sonar. SonarQube 7.2.1 and then conf sonar.wrappers, right? So you have to copy or you have to change all the URLs. See, sometimes where we have to do is sometimes you are working for some company. They have they want analysis report. I mean, this analysis report has been storing in a particular database, right? Client or some other requirement might be, I have my own database. Please use that database for your SonarQube. So at that time, if they are using any MySQL or else Oracle or some other database, you can configure all these settings in the sonar.properties file. Okay, and so for upgradation, you should be copying all your sonar.properties file and wrapper conf file. Okay, and so you have to copy all your sonar.properties file wrapper file into your required. Let's say now you are moving from 5 to 7, right? You have to copy the sonar.properties file wrapper conf file into the 7 version of the SonarQube, and then you have to take care of all your database settings while copying that, and then stop your old SonarQube server and then start. This is as simple as that, but we have to follow a major migration path only. Guys, any questions on this? Guys, are you there?
Yeah, no questions.
So okay, any questions on the entire thing? So if you have any questions, either interview perspective or installation or something, please let me know. We can have a QA session now.
Yep, no, nothing.
Okay. Okay, guys, I hope this has been initially it has been dragged some time, but I hope this explanation would give you more clarity on that. If you have any questions, you can ask, or else we can leave for today. Thank you for all of your time and effort. So please let me know if you have questions. You can be in touch with Mantosh. So if you have any questions, you can.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOpsSchool channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.